Part 2 of the building renovation. This is where that glass storefront was, and it's been boarded up, ready for stucco on the outside and probably on the inside too. And you can see they've got some framing done, and they also did some filling in of some openings that need to be closed off. And this over here, they actually what they call one siding. They put drywall on one side, so plumbing and electrical can still go in. But I guess they had a day or so when their drywall guys needed something to do, so that's what they did. They did some in the some of the other rooms too. This footage was taken a few weeks ago, and they've gotten more done since then. The rough electrical is almost completely done. He's just got to get some fixture cans up, and then some of the plumbing venting is still yet to be done, but not much. So they're getting pretty close to getting the rough plumbing, rough electrical, and the framing inspection. And then once that stuff is approved, then they can start insulating and covering walls, and things will start to go pretty quickly then. Yeah, this is one wall. They went ahead and put the drywall on. And this is the other one. The other side of the wall is open. I don't think I've shown any of the framing and stuff for the HVAC. He put the units up on the roof. A crane came in a few days ago and set the units up, but they had to do a fair amount of reinforcing on the roof for those units. This is where all the different plans are for this project. There's electrical, plumbing, HVAC, architectural, several pages of each, and whoever's in there doing whatever they're doing, they just come over here and check their instructions. I've mostly done residential stuff, and you don't have to have plans this comprehensive. It's nowhere close to this. At least it wasn't back when I was doing a lot of residential remodeling mostly. But when you get into commercial, mostly you're going to have an architect involved in engineering, as well as the various subcontractors. All of them have to be licensed, of course. All that railing, you see, that black railing will be gone at some point. They're going to put all new stuff up there. This glass front will be changed out. These are, let's see, this is upstairs. You can see there's some of the beams that have to go in to support the rooftop units, and all the drywall torn up so they can get electrical in. This is going to be an open office area, probably just cubicles in here, and a conference room just to the right. There'll also be the data will come up through that wall from across the driveway and then go up and over and down into this smaller area. That's where all the computer stuff is going to be, all the IT room, I guess you call it. Telephone equipment and all that. So we also had some more demo going on. We wanted to pull all that crap off the front of the building that's been there for years. It's really hokey looking. So they got the Mini X and started ripping stuff off and pulling out trees, and finally just cleaned it all off. And something else will be completely, it'll be completely redone and look good. Now there's a opening in the back where we're going to have most of the forklift traffic will be coming through, and it was just a little bit too small, mostly in height. We got two of the forklifts that are they're just too tall. They clear by a half an inch, and we know that's not going to work. So we expanded this opening, and I haven't seen this in a while. These guys have new equipment now. It's basically all remote. The last time I saw this going on, the guy almost had to He had a hand wheel. He ran up there. This guy does it from his belt, and it goes by itself. The blade, you can plunge the blade with it or retract the blade, set the speed. This cut, the first cut is not all the way penetrated through. He's going to go all the way up and then push the blade all the way through and then go back down. And you'll see the blade pop through here in a second. And that goes all the way down, then he goes over to the other side, cuts that side, and then across the top. They made us put up a structure, a big structure, 6-inch square steel tubing to brace this wall for this opening. Seems like a bit overkill, but I'm not the engineer, and it's certainly not going to be my ass if that somehow that wall happens to come down, but it won't. That smaller hole's been there for 40 years. I don't see anything happening to. Just because we opened it up a little bit, I don't think it's going to change much. But you got to go along with what the city wants. He's setting up to cut the top. Now this is it's actually a chainsaw that cuts concrete. Now it sounds funny, but that's what it is. That's how you get those corners perfectly square, because of course the round blade won't do it. So it's, I mean, when you get up close to the thing, it looks like a chainsaw, but wherever you would normally have the little teeth that cuts wood, no, that's got the diamond abrasive in there that cuts concrete. It actually cuts pretty quick. So he cuts the vertical line, then shifts over and cuts out the horizontal line, and it gives you a nice clean corner. Then the bottom has to be cut. Because it's been excavated inside, he can get the saw down pretty low and cut right down on the bottom. In a minute, they're gonna they'll bring in that big forklift. People call them gradalls, but I think there's a real different name for them. Construction site forklifts. So it's just gonna pop that thing loose and haul it away. I'm gonna guess that if we never even told them we were gonna make that hole bigger, they would have never known. But it was just too close to get our forklift traffic through there without risking a problem of some sort. In the rest of that area, the equipment we had to pull out of there, that's the chiller that eventually have to go back in there, but that whole back area was cleared out, and they demoed the asphalt that was there. You just can't, in California anyway, asphalt isn't going to hold up to forklift traffic very long, because we have 100-degree days, and that asphalt gets soft, and those forklifts will just tear it all up. So anyway, it's already been demoed. I didn't get any footage of that. So now they're going to get all their steel in there, and they've already done some grading and tamping, got the tamper going, so they're they seem like they're doing a pretty good job. They're doweling into the existing slabs every 16 inches, and so it'll be a 16-inch pattern. We kind of made a on-the-fly decision to put a block wall across the back instead of replacing the chain link. So these guys are going to pour this footing, and then they'll stab the rebar later on. This is the next morning, right around 7 o'clock. Concrete's here. Now they're getting ready to pour the slab out there, the parking lot. And mostly, for some reason, you don't see this as much back east, but out here, everybody pumps that stuff. Back east, they have different types of trucks that have conveyors on them, and real long extensions, and they don't seem to want to pump it very often if they can get away with it, but that's just the way it seems to be done most of the time here. And they'll pour it in sections and move that screed over towards this direction, and then do the last two sections with that screed out in the middle. It's all in all about 40 yards that they're going to be putting in this morning. It's another thing they do a little differently, it seems. Most of the time you'll see a big mag float, but these guys were just using a wood float and then a Fresno, which is, you know, like a trowel, which seems to work pretty well. It'll be a couple hours before the finishers can get out there and prep it for the broom finish. Now they've moved over to the last section, and they can remove that screed that was out in the middle. You can tell those guys striking that off have done that a few times. That puddler's not moving quick enough for him, so another one has to jump in. He's getting in there to help with the puddling. Pretty much got this outside area poured, and you can see him working towards that doorway, and when they get to the end of that doorway, then they'll pour the inside. You can see that they already have a few rows of the block in. They set that last night, so all they have to do this morning is snap a line there and screed it off to the line. We had to build that up because the way it was, water would pour right through the door. You know, the parking lot was sloped back into the building, and so we had to raise it up right at the threshold and then taper it back a little bit. Pretty much finished. Got everything broomed off, and looks pretty good. I think you guys did a great job. They're finishing up on the inside, you can see, and that should work out really well when it's all done. It's been about a week or so since they poured the slab. You can see it's drying out and the block wall is done. So we are going to call this a wrap for part 2 of this building renovation.